Recently, public advocacy group Public Citizen published a report showing that here in the United States, we are paying, on average, roughly double for our prescription drugs than the rest of the industrialized world. Very simple. U.S. sales of the top 20 medications totaled $101 billion in 2020, while sales of the same drugs totaled $57 billion for the rest of the world. The rest of the world! And it is due primarily to the fact that, again, we're paying pretty much double, at least, by the way, as everybody else. Because that's the way the system is designed here in the United States. Most of these major drug manufacturers, not necessarily based in the United States, but they all have a base of operations here in the United States. There's plenty of them based in Europe, but they also operate in the United States with offices here, research and development, and of course, laboratories. And they do that because they know that here in the United States, we're going to federally fund most of their research and development. I think it's about 75% of the research and development is actually funded with our tax dollars. And then they take that. Either the money goes directly to the, pharmaceutical labs, they use our money to do the research, or it's done actually at the university level. You have the universities doing all of this. And then, of course, the pharmaceutical companies step in and say, hey, that's pretty awesome. We're going to buy that from you. Either way, we're paying for it, and we're getting screwed out of it. Because then they patent those drugs. They get phenomenal, decade-long patents on this to prevent any kind of generics from entering the market. And if they want to keep generics out of the market for even longer, they'll make slight tweaks to the drugs once they hit that close to that 10-year mark, renew the patent for another 10 years, and then we get screwed again because they're charging us 2,000% more than it costs to make it, sometimes 15,000% more. And for a select few drugs here in the United States, the markup is over 200,000% of what it costs them to make it. Another major factor as to why we're getting screwed on drug prices is because our government doesn't negotiate prices. We're not allowed to do it. I think the VA can do it actually to a little extent. And of course, right now we're fighting for Medicare to be able to do that. And the corporatist Democrats who are being funded by the pharmaceutical industry aren't letting us get that. But not being able to negotiate drug prices like other countries, yeah, we're kind of screwed there. Another big thing, the reason we pay a lot of money here is because even though they're not recouping necessarily R&D costs, they have to recoup those direct-to-consumer advertising costs. We are one of 2 countries on the planet, the other I believe is New Zealand, that actually even allows that. You go over to Europe, you go to Canada, you go to South America, you go to Africa, you go to Asia, there's no pharmaceutical marketing out there. Except maybe, of course, for over-the-counter ibuprofen or Tylenol. But you're not going to see drug ads for Lipitor or Xeljanz or any of those other drugs that you see on your TV non-stop all day, every day. And that's the big cost that these pharmaceutical companies incur. They spend more money annually on direct-to-consumer advertising than they do on research and development. And those who do fund their own research and development, analysis has shown that they recoup the full cost of everything with their drug, developing it and marketing it, within the first 2 years. Within the first 2 years. After that, nothing but profit. And we're the ones getting screwed. And as I always like to say, we pay for our drugs twice. We pay for them through our tax dollars. And of course, we pay for them when we go to the pharmacy. And when we go to the pharmacy, according to this new report from Public Citizen, we're paying, on average, at least double what the rest of the planet pays for the same drug.